Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now, I know these games are old. They were Thursday, but like I said, I work a lot. So make sure you, Cino did a live on the LA Clippers thing and everything. And I think people need to watch that. Now, now, everybody is worried about the Brooklyn Nets, but this is what we were saying about the Nets a long time ago. From watching the game, the Mavericks weren't that impressive either. The Mavericks, it was a terrible game. Like, I fell asleep twice on it. I had the day off. They gave me the day off to chill. Yesterday they killed me at work. But going back to watch the game, I would have did this video earlier, but I went to sleep. I had a long night last night. But the thing is, people have to understand. Basketball is a game of chemistry. Yes, you can have one guy go off and that could change the course of the game. You could have a star have an off day. Basketball is a marathon. It's like baseball. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you guys have got to get out of this notion. The Nets are experimenting right now. They're not playing the guys that they normally would play. They're just trying to get to the playoffs healthy. Whether they're the 5th seed, 4th seed, 3rd seed, 6th seed, they don't care. As long as they get into the playoffs, then that's when they'll step up. But this has been the problem with them the whole season, has been their interior defense because of the getting rid of Allen. And would I have made the trade? Yes, because you needed James Harden was going to go to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm telling people, and all of you guys who keep on trying to compare this Durant move to LeBron, it is not the same. Stop trying to give LeBrownies a pass for his reasons the league is the way it is now. Kevin Durant brought himself and Kyrie. That was it. James Harden so happened to be out there requesting a trade, and he gave his target teams. It was Philly, the Clippers, and Brooklyn. Those were his 3 teams he wanted to go to. Miami was also, people were saying, was in talks. To me, Miami should have made the trade to bring Harden in. They should have got rid of Hero, Robinson, and all those as salary players, and they could have had that. They would have been fine because Harden would have taken the pressure off of Jimmy Butler to perform on offense, and him and Bam would have been, oh my God, it would have been a terror in the East. But I understand why the Heat in the long run didn't do it. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, they lost that game. Kevin Durant had an off night. Everybody wants to come down on him talking about he needs more help. He doesn't need help. Kevin Durant's thing is he wanted to win. He left Oklahoma City because he was dealing with a player who didn't know how to sacrifice. If Westbrook would have been playing how he is now, when he played with Durant, which is focused on rebounds and assists and not worry about trying to take shots and ball dominate, Oklahoma City would have won 2 or 3 chips with those guys. The problem is Westbrook wanted to be the guy. He didn't respect Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant doesn't respect him. So all of you guys trying to bring them two together, it's not going to work. It's just that some people don't get along. They don't. It's not that they may not ever could sit down and chill. They just don't like each other. You've had that person at work or in life you met, and with your friend or other people, they're cool, but you and him or you and her, y'all just don't click. And that's just how it is. Doesn't matter about your zodiac sign or whatever. You guys probably won't mix. It just is what it is. Now, the game, Luka had a terrible game in the second half. But this is what I kept telling you guys. Luka has a team, and Tim Hardaway Jr., nobody's talking about him. He has been playing out of his mind. He's finally coming into his own. And if the Knicks would have never messed up by bringing in the coach who smashes everybody's wife, they could have had something there with Tim Hardaway. They should have kept Mike Woodson. Tim Hardaway would have been this type of player. Him and Dorian Finney-Smith and Willie Cauley-Stein are doing the dirty work. I just wish they played Cauley-Stein a little more, but I don't know. Rick Carlisle, he to me, he has a weird way of his rotations and his lineups. Now, I don't have a problem with what's going on in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I said it before this. I said it with Cool Beans way back when, is that I just don't think Brooklyn will win it this year. I think Kevin Durant is going to have some times where he looks like Kevin, but ultimately he's going to struggle sometimes, because you guys have to remember he's been out of basketball for I think a year, maybe two. So now he's trying to get acclimated playing again. He just came back from an injury where I think he hit his thigh or something, his quad. So he had a thigh contusion, I believe. Which is very hard, because one day that thing will be irritating and then one day it'll be fine. But then after the game, it'll hurt. Trust me, I've had those before, especially in football. So from what I've seen, to me, that the thing is they don't have size. That's the problem with Brooklyn. Everybody is very small. They're small. And when you got when you have a team of guys that are small like that, it's going to spell trouble for you when you go against the big guys like Embiid, Julius Randle, Willie Cauley-Stein and Powell. It gives you problems. And Anthony Davis would be able to dominate down low against this team. They're going to sacrifice that. But the one thing that they need to work on is effort. That is what's killing the Nets, is effort on the defensive end. All Mike D'Antoni's, I don't want to hear that Steve Nash crap. All Mike D'Antoni teams suck on defense. They just do. They're not a very strong defensive team. They lack chemistry on defense. And then also, the Nets are turning the ball over at a high rate. A high rate. And I think a lot of people kind of miss that when they're watching it. They're so used to it, like, well, they should be playing better like this. They should be doing this. And it's like, okay, you're right. They should be. But they don't care right now. The Nets are trying to get to the playoffs. They're praying they get to the playoffs so then they could they want the playoffs. They just want to pray they're healthy getting to the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. But you guys, of course, don't give Milwaukee any respect. You guys are like, oh, what's wrong with Brooklyn? How about give Milwaukee respect? But as far as legacy, people saying, does this affect Kevin Durant's legacy? No, it doesn't. Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. He is. You guys can be like, well, I don't know if I could see it because he plays. Bruh, if you can't see, it's like you going to the club and you see this booty and you see that booty. If you can't tell that this booty is fatter than that booty from the front or the back, sir, I'm sorry. I can't help your eyes get better. Kevin Durant could shoot better. He could score better. He could defend better than LeBron James can. The only thing LeBron James does better is run the floor better. He knows how to be a floor general on the floor. He knows how to set the pace of the game. That's it. He knows how to pass. That's about it. He's great at passing. Kevin Durant is a guy who's finna come in there and kill. That's it. But his problem was he got cold. What Kevin Durant has to do is when he gets cold like that, he needs to go to the post. They can't stop him in the post. And if they try to double team him, pass it around. The Nets also, they don't move the ball around a lot. It's too much ISO ball. And that's the thing they're missing with James Harden. James Harden is a guy who moves the ball. He doesn't keep the ball stagnant. If you watched him in Houston, the ball moved a lot. So I don't know why people thought when he got there it would be problems. To me, Kyrie and KD are the ones who were ball stoppers a lot. And they are, because they're scorers. They're score first, pass and ask questions second. That's just who they are. So, but to me, I mean, they lost these games. They lost to the Mavericks have been playing good. When Luka moves the ball around, the Mavericks are a dangerous team, but when he gets into that one-on-one, that step back and everything, it makes the offense very stagnant. And also what I don't like from Luka is when some of his teammates, like Finney-Smith, was diving for that ball when Luka just threw it to him and he missed the pass. Luka has a way of kind of like, he kind of looks down on you. And I don't know if everybody else realizes that. To me, that body language and how he looks at his teammates at times, he doesn't want to get into trouble when they get to the playoffs and he's distancing himself or he's kind of not giving his team any props. You want to give your team props whether they're doing good or bad because that builds chemistry. And I think at times Luka kind of looks down on his team, which isn't good because you have a good team. I mean, this is a good team. This team is very dangerous. When they get to the playoffs, they're going to be very dangerous. It's going to be hard to beat this team. So, but the Clippers look like the best team so far to me. And I've been saying this. The Clippers are a very tough team. The Clippers, they play how do I say it? The Clippers, they play a team game, and when Rondo come in, they play good. They play as a unit. Their problem is going to be playing against the Nuggets and the Mavericks. For some reason, they do not match up with those two teams. Those teams give them problems. Big problems. So the Lakers, Montrezl Harrell, to me, basically looks like, he quit. He doesn't really like these guys. And this is his fault. It's your fault. It's your fault because you thought it was greener on the other side. And that's what happens. And when you're as disrespectful as you have been, and when you do what you did, that's not cool, man. You really, really threw the team under the bus how you did and snitched like you did. It's a bad look. And now you're costing yourself money because if you try to go somewhere else, they're not going to give you that same contract. But if Montrez does leave, which I believe he is, I believe he should go to Brooklyn or New York. Those would be two good teams for him to go to. I think that locker room would be cool with him, and I think he would be a great addition, and he would get a lot of minutes with those two teams, or hell, he probably can go to, those would be two good teams, or he could go to Dallas next year. If not them, he probably can go to Utah. Well, I ain't gonna see him in Utah. Probably can go to New Orleans and help that team move up. But the way the Lakers are playing, I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. But for LeBron to do what he's done, sitting out for a non-injury, and that's just low to me. And if you guys support what he's doing, then you guys are low as well. LeBron is nothing but a front runner. When things don't go his way, he pouts like a little biatch. And he does. That's who he is, and that's his DNA. And for him to leave his team like he has, because he's not getting his way, is a travesty and shows that he has no business being mentioned as one of the greatest players to play this damn game. Kobe Bryant didn't like smush Kwame and none of those bums, but he still went out there to play with them. He still went out there to play, even when he was hurt, even when he didn't have nothing left. He played with those teams like D'Angelo Russell and Randall and Ingram. He tried his best to still play with those guys, even through injury. You are showing weakness, and you are the weakest player in history that's a superstar that I have ever seen. Grow up. You're a year older than me, and I act way more mature than you do. I would have never done this to my teammates. If I'm the face and the leader, my teammates need me to play at a high position and play tough. And that's facts. I sacrificed playing on the D-line to help my team on the offensive line in high school because they needed me there. In college, I had some pouting moments because I was upset because I felt I wasn't getting a fair shake. But guess what? I still showed up. I still was the first guy in and I was the last guy to leave. I always asked questions, whether I knew I was getting done dirty, because that's how life is. Life sucks now. You know, I got to go in and clock in. I wish I was in your position where I was getting paid a max deal. I would be out there every day trying to win. No, you going to get up and leave because y'all lost to the Wizards the other night. Come on, dog. That's weak. And all these guys who support you, they weak too. Because, dog, you're showing your colors when things are bad. And I kept telling you this, Beans. I kept telling you this, Beans. I kept telling you this, Mr. Turner. I kept telling you this, Cliff. I kept telling you, C-Mo. This guy is not who you think he is. He's weak. He's not a leader. And all you guys, Demetrius, going at KD, KD's still there. Whether they're winning or losing. Last year, he still was there. He was on the sideline. Knowing he's upset he can't play, he still was there for them. Before the bubble happened, he still was supporting those guys. Him and Kyrie were there supporting them. This bum here gets up and is always ready to quit because nothing goes his way. So I'm tired of you guys talking about KD's legacy. Let's talk about this bum's legacy. All of his rings mainly came from a shortened season. And then the season they won in Cleveland, you had to throw out Draymond and you had injuries that happen that always fall in your place. He always lucks up with something. Somebody's either hurt or the ball bounces his way. But as far as a player, his game is terrible. And because of his leadership, this team is in the 7th seed. This team should be in the 3rd seed even without him there. This team is talented. But because of him and his ineptitude, they're not winning. And then you didn't even have the COVID vaccination, but everybody else is forced to have the vaccination. But you get a pass. Then you're sitting out with a non-injury. Vogel had to expose you. And then Anthony Davis just walking around here soft as hell, hurt his ankle, but then had a back spasm. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Come on, man. It's a travesty. So thank you for listening, man. Like I said, Kevin Durant's legacy, I don't feel if they win or don't win this year, his legacy will be deterred or messed up. Kevin Durant is coming off of serious injury. It takes a while for it. What he's doing now while being back off of that injury is amazing. The only other guy I've seen come off an Achilles injury balling like that, Kobe did for a little bit. And then you had Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins probably was the last best player who did well off of that Achilles. Kobe was doing good until I think he hurt his shoulder that year, and then he hurt his knee afterwards. Like, his injuries just started piling up. It was crazy. Like, Kobe just started getting hurt. But Kevin Durant is still playing, and to me, the thing is, they're not taking these games seriously. When Harden gets back for the playoffs, they should be ready. I still think Milwaukee will go this year. I just have a feeling they're playing together, And I think Giannis wants it. Giannis is hungry. And he's playing a lot better as far as shooting the ball and playing in the post. So we'll see. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you like what you hear, you can donate to the page by Cash Apping me at the word welcome, the number 2, and an HDII TV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Deezy!